Let's briefly discuss what the business model canvas is. The business model canvas is a way to present the business model of any company in a standardized way. In this framework, we present the business model by describing the company in 9 separate areas. We start with the customer segments. In this part, you should write down what are the main customer segments you are targeting. Once we have the customers, we can define what we actually give them, what we do for our beloved customers. In other words, what is the value proposition? In this part you should try to define the following things. First of all, what value do you deliver to the customer? The second thing you should describe, is to define which problem are you solving? Finally, you should describe how it differs for different customer segments. Obviously, this should be done from the customer's perspective. So, use the feedback from them to answer those 3 main questions. To deliver the product or service you need channels. In the third box, you should define what kind of channels the business is using to deliver the products or services to the customers. It may be a retail chain, e-commerce, marketplaces, or salesman. In the channels, you concentrate on the distribution of your products. A bit different things will be described in the box called relationships. Here, you should provide answers to 3 main questions. How do you acquire, in other words get the customers? How do you keep them and prevent them from moving to competition? Finally, how you convince customers to spend more money with you. The last box on the right side is revenues. In this box, you should define the main revenue streams you have. It would also make sense to define the so-called revenue formula. In other words, describe what you charge your customer for, what are the drivers of your revenues. I would also recommend writing down what customers are willing to pay for. Now let's move to the left side. We start by defining what key resources we need for our business. After that, we define the key activities we have to perform, and key partners that our business needs to survive and grow. In the Key Partners box, try also to define which key activities or resources the key partners provide. In many cases, key resources or key activities can be addressed by key partners. In this way, you may have one thing less to worry about. Finally, at the very bottom left box, we should write down the most important key positions, and cost drivers that influence those cost positions. For example, for a retail business, we could write down rent, labor costs, and cost of goods sold. It's worth mentioning that you can divide the business model canvas into 2 parts. On the right, we have things visible to the customers. On the left, we have things that are not that easy to spot and define, in other words the firm's operations. That's in short the business model canvas. As you have seen, it's pretty easy yet powerful method to describe business. In the next few lectures we will see how we can describe well-known businesses using this framework.